I'm going to answer this one because I've gotten it so often about the clitoris. Okay, when you take steroids, it gets bigger.
Hella things going on. Coach Greg, and again, we're going into a deep dive on the side effects of performance-enhancing drugs in females. I think that it's often overlooked. Coaches prescribing SARMs, steroids like Anavar, Osterine, and so on without telling their athletes what exactly could go wrong. And so we have Hannah Hussein. It's not Hussein Farhat's sister. It's not his cousin. It's no relations whatsoever. And she isn't one in a million. She's admittedly on performance-enhancing drugs, and she's going to explain all of the side effects, answer your questions. For example, how big is your downstairs? How sensitive is it? Tell us about experiencing that big O at the end. Is it easier? Is it happen infrequently? Give us the details. That's what we want to know. And so I do think that men, they want to know this. All the guys out there who are taking steroids, almost every single one, they want their girlfriend or their partner, or they're attracted to females who perhaps also take steroids. They're curious. They like the muscles. And so a lot of boyfriends, they get their girlfriends to take PEDs without even explaining the side effects. No, babe, if you take this, you're going to look amazing. You'll look like that bikini model over there. And so the girls are thinking, really? I'd have to take some Anavar and I'm going to have a derriere as twice as big as mine right now? Well, I want it. And then they take these things and sooner or later they're shaving. They have a deep voice. It doesn't sound as sexy. And their private parts, they've gotten larger than last time, which, hey, for Hannah, she says it. It was amazing. And so pros, cons, goods, bad. Let's get right into it.
If you're new here, my name is Hannah. I'm an IFBB pro female bodybuilder.
Hannah Montana has put on a lot of size. Man, she's enormous. Hannah Montana.
Today I'm going to be doing my second Q&A. Kudos to the people that can turn those things out, like the professional YouTubers. I don't know how y'all do it.
And so what you do is you sit there and you press record and you upload. You don't need to take a week before doing a Q&A. You literally just read the question and respond. You don't need to practice. You don't need to rehearse. We want to see off the cuff, what do you say right now? Do you really think I script all my videos? I just sit there, press record, and go. Because people want to know the real you, not the scripted answer, not what you felt like saying. What is going on in your mind as you read it?
And one of the questions that I get asked quite a lot is, why do I think most people lie about being on steroids or PEDs?
Why lie? Why don't people just come out and say it? I encourage people all the time, why don't you make videos about using performance-enhancing drugs? I tell everybody, I'm like, you really think it's going to hurt you? That if people found out the truth that you're not natural and everyone already knows you're not natural because, hey, you're an IFBB pro, and this goes to males and females, it's like, what harm is it? Well, they'll say, oh, well, if I make a video saying that I'm not natural, I'll hurt my placings. No, it won't. You really think the judges think that you're natural? They don't. They think you're on steroids. It won't hurt your placings. It's not going to make them better. It's not going to make them worse. And let's be honest, who gives a shit? Why do we care so much about what we're placing? Oh, you're going to go from 13th place to 15th or from 6th to 9th. Unless you're winning top 5 in pro shows, you're not even making any money. Literally, how much are you winning in classic physique? What, $4,000 for first place? One Punch Man looked insane. He won $4,000. And if you're a woman, perhaps about the same $4,000 for winning a bikini contest. Is that really enough to change your life? You're probably spending that much on coaching. Actually, you're probably spending a lot more. And likely spending that much on performance-enhancing drugs. And so it doesn't matter. And so let's be honest, if you're not dominating a show, if you're not actually literally amazing, then who cares? Just be open about it. Hey, I'm on Anavar, I'm on Osterine, I took enclomiphene, Nova, say it all.
I can take some pretty good guesses as to why. One of them being that if they're sponsored in any way.
Yeah, I get it. Back in the day, if you said, look, I'm on performance-enhancing drugs, the contract would say you can't be. And so you would lose your contract. And so years ago, I think that was a valid excuse. Hey, you had to lie. Your career depended on it. But today, do you really think it's affecting you? Do you think that at HTLT that we're not going to sponsor you if you admit to taking performance-enhancing drugs? The owner, this guy literally is not natural. So do you really think that we care? And so don't lie to me. I'd rather you be honest. Hey, I'm on this many milligrams of test a week. I'm on this, I'm on that. We don't care. We're not going to judge you. And at this point, it's 2025. I do believe the people who are the most honest are getting the most amount of views, followers, and so on. And so if you're on the fence, just be honest.
We get judged pretty freaking harshly. And so on top of that already being judged, why would we then go admit to, to open it up to more scrutiny?
Great point. Bodybuilders are being judged. People are making fun of you all the time, like, oh, you're a narcissist. All you do is care about your appearance. And so if you add to that, oh, yeah, I take testosterone, growth hormone, whatever, people are just going to shit on you even more. And so they're like, I don't want it. And so here's the difference. People that don't have a strong self-esteem, they don't have the self-confidence, they can't give anyone anything, because if they take advantage of that knowledge, that information that you gave them, that it's going to hurt them. For me, I don't care. Hey, you're a 5'6" manlet loser. You're a former steroid dealer, importer. You sell snake oil. You're a bad person. You do this, you do that. I don't care. I mean, I talk about it in my videos. It brings me more views. And so I don't care. But most people, they care about what you think. That's right. You, I'm pointing at you. You watching this right now, they care what you think. I don't understand why. Like, why do you care about what other people think who you haven't even met? Like, I don't get that. It's like, are you now going to care if ChatGPT doesn't like you? ChatGPT, do you like me? No, I think you're not nice. You don't say please when you ask me all these questions and you boss me around. It's a computer. And so when bro from Bangladesh writes that you're a 5'6" manlet, a hobbit, if you will, and nobody likes you, that no one would want to date you because you have a horrible personality, why do you care? You haven't even met them. It's nothing. And so people, make the videos, say what you're taking, say what you do, and stop giving a shit about what other people think about you.
Even aside from the obvious, right? Like, say you have somebody that it's obvious they are on steroids, but still, why would somebody want to admit that they are and talk about it if it's not going to do anything for them?
Well, it's one thing to admit it, and it's another thing to lie about it. So, for example, are you on Anavar? Look at me and tell me the truth. And they say no, but they are. Then that's a deliberate lie. Now, if you just don't talk about it, to me, that's different. And so I would prefer if people were honest, but of course they aren't. But if you can, at least be honest, at least tell the truth when somebody's asking you. If you decide, hey, I don't want to make a video telling people exactly what I'm on because it's none of their business, then I can respect that. But if somebody's outright asking you and you lie to them, well, that ain't so cool.
It's could possibly hurt your career in the future in any type of sponsor that you could potentially work with in the future.
Honestly, I think you have more chance of getting sponsored if you're honest. I think you have more chance of going viral if you're on it. Would this girl have a viral channel if she was saying, I'm natural? If she had made that original video and said, I just want to come out here and tell everyone that I'm 100% natural. I'm 1 in a billion. I'm more rare than Hussein Farhad and Julian. And so, guys, I don't know why you keep accusing me. Would that have gone over well? Would she get more followers from being honest? And so if you're watching this video and you're on the fence, why don't you try making a video and see, maybe I'll make a video about it. Perhaps you can continue, and maybe it'll continue to go viral.
Number 2, why do some people deny the side effects of PEDs?
I think they're living in denial. Personally, I think they don't want to believe that it's happening. I think that, for example, when people take performance-enhancing drugs and you say, hey, what about getting a heart attack? You know, you're on Tren, the Tren twins and so on. No, it won't happen to me. You're living in denial, so it allows you the cognitive dissonance to keep doing it, saying, no, this isn't a thing. It's not happening. I'm in denial. No. I think people do that so that they can convince themselves that it's okay, that they're not getting side effects, that it's perfectly okay, because once you admit it, you then have to do something about it. Like, if you know that your girlfriend is cheating on you, if you know for sure, you have proof, it's in 4K, you then have to decide, am I going to let her do that and continue to date her, or am I breaking up with her? But if you don't know, you're not sure, well, hey, it didn't happen. And so you can continue to be happy, blissful, if you will. And so if she goes down south on a girls trip or something and hooks up with a bunch of men and doesn't text you back, doesn't call you back, doesn't do anything, you can say, hey, she's just busy, her phone died, she's having a great time, but never would she cheat on me. And so I think what people do is they say, it's not happening. And so that allows them to stay in the relationship. And so that is what they're doing, only with steroids, if that makes any sense.
When I started experiencing the voice change, right? So I felt like I needed to clear my throat all the time, but I didn't hear my voice sounding different in my head. And still to this day, I still kind of sound, to me in my head, I still sound very similar to my original voice.
And so that's a great point. I never considered this. She's saying, look, when your voice changes, you don't actually hear it yourself. And so I know that when you talk and you hear yourself talk, it doesn't sound the same as when other people talk. And so that's a valid argument and a valid point. And so girls, what you need to do is record your voice. You record it, and then you play it back. You listen to your voice, and a month later, you listen to it again, and you say, is my voice changing? Because you won't notice it. Sometimes the effect is so gradual, you don't see it happening. Think of it. Let's say your voice is 100% feminine, and it only changes 1% each and every day. You're not going to notice the difference. 100% to 99% to 98%. Every day, it's only 1% deeper. And so you remember yesterday, and it sounds about the same. But perhaps somebody hasn't heard you for a month. It's been 30 days. It was 100%. Now it's 70. There's a distinct difference. You play it back and forth. I've done this with videos. Here's Alex Hormozi's wife before, and here's Alex Hormozi's wife after. You hear the difference. It's immediate. You hear it. But if it happens gradually, you might not even notice it. Isn't there a saying that if you put a frog in hot water and you slowly boil it, it won't leave, it'll just sit there and die? Well, they don't notice a difference. Now, if they jump from cold water into boiling water, they're getting the frick out. But if it's gradual, it's just, hey, it's no big deal. And so, girls, what you need is you need a proper coach. Not all coaches are going to tell you anything. They're going to say, it's not really much different. It'll go back as soon as the show's over. You need to listen to someone else. Somebody like Coach Greg. Somebody like perhaps your best friend who can tell it to you straight. Look, girly, you're on steroids. I can tell you need to come off. It's too much. Whatever the dose is, you can't do it. I'm hearing it. I know you want to keep doing this show. I know you want to win the competition. But you can't. I'm hearing it. You need to have an intervention. You need to sit there, look them in the eye and say, your voice is changing. You need to stop. Problem is, most people, they don't want the smoke. Why would I get involved? Does she want to hear this from me? Hi, your voice is starting to sound like a man. How many of you have the balls to say that? Not many. I do. Listen, I can see you're starting to shave. Listen, I see your mustache is trying to grow. I see it. I see all the growth in the downstairs, perhaps. I hear the voice changing. I'm going to say it. Oh, you don't like me now because I told it like it is. I told you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. And so what most people are yes men or yes women. They just say the nice things. They're your friend, but are they really? They're only there for the good times. They're not there for the bad. And so when a woman is abusing steroids and you see it happening, you have to be there for the bad. This is a bad time. You have to be there to help them. It's your duty, your responsibility as a friend. You tell them. You need to stop. Same applies to if you see them gaining 40, 50 pounds after a bodybuilding competition. Hey, look, you're my friend. You're fat. You stop eating. What is wrong with you? That's what you need to do. But hey, it's 2025, healthy at every size and do what you want with your body. No, tell them you need to stop.
I'm going to answer this one because I've gotten it so often, is about the clitoris. Okay, when you take steroids, it gets bigger. And I covered that in another video. But people wanted to know how fast does it occur? How much bigger does it get? And is it more sensitive? How fast? It depends on what I would guess depends on what you're taking. Because as far as I know, everyone responds differently. What happened to me was it was very fast. It was probably within 4 months?
She was on excessively high doses and it still took her 4 months. And so to me, that is slow. You're going to notice that if you're a woman and if you've never checked yourself downstairs, I'm going to suggest that you give yourself a glance. What are the gentlemen and or gentlewomen looking at when they go in that area? Give it a little look. Examine it. What is the size right now and what is it then? And if you can barely see it now and months later it looks like this, like the blue lobster claw, if you can imagine, or even thicker. It's been growing for years, okay? If it looks like this, you've gone way too far. It didn't look like that. Now, we have some smaller examples. This is going to be a lot more normal for growth in that area. This is very, very common for women who are using performance-enhancing drugs. This is much more common for women using a shit ton, way more than they should be. And so if you're looking like a blue lobster claw, and if it's blue, go to a doctor. Just go to the doctor now. Watch the video later. Figure out what's going on. And so you need to take doses that don't cause this. And I would argue this is the max. Take it to the max. Take it to the max. It's a good song. If it's too much of a good thing is bad, you know, and this applies for both men and women. Now, if you can't see it and where is it, babe, and they don't feel it, and as she stated, she's never had a finish, an ending, the proper ending, I don't know how we say this, a proper climax to the video. She's never had one, and it enlarges itself so that you can achieve that ending, then that is a huge plus. I mean, I'm not going to lie. Hey, I would want that. I'm not a woman, but as a man, if I had a woman and she was able to achieve this, then, hey, I'm all for it. And you may be thinking, yeah, she just hasn't been with a real man. He would have done it. Look, if you can't figure out how to finish on your own in your own privacy, what makes you think that you can? If a woman can't figure her own shit out, and by shit, I mean her own body, privately, from the age of, 12, 13, 14 to 27, figure it out. If you can't, then practice harder than last time on your own and then tell your man what he should be doing. It's not for him to figure it out. If you can't get there, you can't blame your boy. And for the men, too much of a good thing. Yeah. More. Yep. 6 more. 7. Yep. 8 more. 9. Okay. Eventually, it's too much. It's too thick. You can't handle it. It's painful at some point, and please don't let it be the man that was with her before you. Please don't let it be that man. There's too much of a good thing, and it's now bad. And so, it's too much of a good thing. I'm sure there's weird fetish people out there. There always is, perhaps 1% of the population that love it, but most men, they don't. And listen, they're going to lie. Oh, I love it when it looks as big as the lobster claw. This is a fantastic thing. I love all of it. Yeah, they're going to say that, but do they really? Just like when your woman says, oh, it's the best I've ever had. Yeah, every man has been the best he's ever had. You're always the best. She's no way would she had anyone better than you. I mean, you can believe fantasy unicorn stories like this. It's possible that it's true, and we want it to be true, but if we're going by statistics, it probably isn't true.
The actual size, I'm not going to tell you the actual size, but it's larger than average, okay?
Larger than average tells us nothing because you had it grow. And so if it grew, it's already larger than average. People want to know, is it the size of the blue lobster claw? Is it the size of 2 blue lobster claws together? They want to know, is it the size of the entire blue lobster? That's what they want to know. It's not this big, but it's possible that it's as big as 2 blue lobster claws. That would be enormous. And so we're hoping it's smaller. Perhaps it's the tip of the lobster claw. And so there's ways of explaining without explaining. And guys, if you've never seen this before, I know perhaps you haven't been with a woman like this in person, but they do have videos of these things on the internet. Now, I don't want to explain to you how to get it, but it involves typing certain things and you will discover a lot of things that you probably didn't want to see. speaking from experience.
As far as like how much bigger it gets, it depends on what you take. I'm guessing your response to whatever it is you're taking, the amount you're taking, and the duration that you're taking.
Exactly. Just like some people's biceps get a lot bigger when they take steroids and some people don't. It's genetic. And so depending on the exposure to androgens from various steroids that you're taking, it could be bigger or less large than you would imagine. Certain girls I've been with in the past, I know that they were on very high doses and I hardly saw any changes whatsoever. Other people, very massive changes for surprisingly lower doses. And so, hey, it all depends on your genetics. Oh, and another thing, did you all know that the majority of that private area that we're talking about, it's not actually exposed. It actually runs back throughout. And so, you know how there's an iceberg and you see the tip of the iceberg and 90% of the iceberg is underneath? That is kind of like what you're looking at downstairs. And so the nerve endings are not exactly right where you're seeing it. It's not just right there. It's actually up above and to the sides and inside. And so you can stimulate this area in several different ways. And it's not just from touching just the tip, playing just the tip, if you will. It's all over. But it's going to grow out because, hey, the difference between a man and a woman is exposure to basically testosterone, DHT, all the androgens and so on. And so women and men, like when you're 3 months in utero, 4 months and so on, it all looks the same. And then suddenly something grows. And so what happens when you take steroids is you're suddenly getting a signal to start growing that area. And so it starts to grow and grow out couple inches. I'm sure that the tanners, you know who you are, the tanning spray girls. It's almost always girls. I don't think I've ever been sprayed by a man before. They're spraying all kinds of packages. Men are wearing a sock, which what is that actually covering? And women, well, a lot of them are actually naked. And so they're seeing hella things going on.
The sensitivity for me personally and for every female that I've talked to is very significant. It's the difference between, but I'd never gotten to the finish line, so to speak, with a partner before taking steroids, and then afterwards, no problem at all.
If I were a woman, or if I were coaching a woman, or if I had a girlfriend or a sister or a mom or anyone close to me that I valued, I wouldn't want them to abuse performance-enhancing drugs, for example, steroids, Anavar, Ostarine, Rad140, because higher doses are very dangerous. Now, lower doses are less dangerous, but they're all dangerous. And so what would I recommend? Well, I would recommend that people take Turk Builder Max and Turk Platinum. And why? Well, because the more of this you take, the more muscle you're going to build and the less of the steroids that you need to take. And so let's assume that 10 milligrams of Anavar is a dangerous dose for a female, which it probably is. Let's just admit it. What if you could only take 5 milligrams of Anavar with the addition of this, perhaps some creatine, other natural supplements? And by taking the natural supplements, you could gain the same amount of muscle and get the same experience as taking 10 milligrams of Anavar. You've cut your dose by 50%. Can you see how that would be beneficial? At 10 milligrams, perhaps that thing is growing, perhaps your voice is getting deeper, and at 5 milligrams, it isn't. And so what did this do? It kept you as a woman without the horrendous side effects that you don't want. Perhaps your Adam's apple got deeper, you're growing a mustache, a deeper voice. And so by taking natural supplements and leveraging them to its fullest capacity, I would be taking 2 caps of these a day. Now, for women, it's going to be stronger than that for men. They're smaller. And so my experience is that women get more gains than men from taking Turk Builder Max and Turk Platinum. And so if you're a woman and you're on the fence, and if you're watching this video and you're taking steroids and you're not taking this, well, frankly, you're an idiot. I mean, how can I tell you straight? You're taking steroids, which can cause virilization or masculinization, turn you into a man, and you're not leveraging the natural supplements first. And so this would be even worse. You're a woman on Anavar, Ostarine, and you're not taking creatine. Take the low-hanging fruit first. And so all the safe things, you should take all those first. Now, if you're a woman and you're not taking any supplements whatsoever, then by all means, go ahead. You don't need supplements. But if you start adding in supplements, the first thing you do is add in all the safe ones first. This is the first one that you add because it's been proven to be effective and it's safe. There's no negatives. There's no downfall. Even if you don't want to build muscle, it's smart to take creatine. After that, you can take, for example, Turk Builder Max or Turk Platinum. It can help you to build more muscle. Now, you also want to be taking GO2 Max for greater endurance, recovery. You can train harder than last time. You can push yourself further. And so by doing that, it allows you to build more muscle. And so you can see you're leveraging all these natural supplements first. G-Test Platinum. Men and women can benefit from increased levels of testosterone. And so you want to leverage everything first. Now, if you're not getting in the basics, like taking in enough protein, you're not taking protein powder and so on, well, obviously you got to do that. And if you're not doing 150 minutes of cardio a week, and if you're not training effectively, for example, each body part twice each and every week, well, obviously these things are to be expected. And so you do the low-hanging fruit first. Then, after you've done all of these things, and if you still need more muscle, then and only then do you add in performance-enhancing drugs. And I'm not saying that you should, but I'm saying if you're a person that's going to, you should leverage the natural things first. Now, you also need to get your blood work done. Let's be real. Let's be honest. What are your levels of testosterone? What about your liver enzymes, your kidneys, and so on? Especially as you get higher doses, you need to make sure that you're being healthy. And so what I've done is I have now partnered with AlgoRx. AlgoRx have qualified doctors, and what they also have is very cheap prices. I'm talking about less than half price of companies like Merrick Health. And so when I was sponsored by other companies in the past and so on, what I noticed is that hardly anyone can afford the blood work. They can hardly afford the medications and so on. And so if you need to get things like blood work or perhaps enclomiphene to boost your testosterone or telmisartan for your blood pressure, Cialis, Viagra, peptides, the list goes on, and you want it to be prescription-based from a doctor that's not going to pester you, not going to be a gatekeeper, but it's going to be there to support you, and it's very easy process, literally only minutes, then AlgoRx is the company for you. Why do you think I partnered with them? Because I know how beneficial it will be for you. You're going to save money and get the prescription pharmaceutical grade supplements that you need. It's not made in bro's backyard in their kitchen. This is pharma grade. And so if you don't have a lot of money, you need to save some. This is the company that you need. Now for AlgoRx, code Greg, 10% off. And for all the HTLT supplements, code Greg, 15% off. Another company, before I go, you can get your clothing from Momentous Apparel. Click the link in the description. And if you want to be coached by myself and my team, click the link in the description. I had to call with 8 of my athletes yesterday for 45 minutes answering all of their questions. And so if you want to actually be coached by quality coach, click the link in the description, subscribe, click the bell button, comment to boost the algorithm. Please like the video if you liked it. Watch at least one of those 2 bloops. The cookbooks, the Circle diet book, the training book, all this, code Greg, 15% off. Don't forget to check out my website for all the SKUs. And of course, the Seco protein bars, we have them for code Seco, 50% off, probably sold out already. I mean, imagine paying $20 for a box of 12 bars. It doesn't even make any sense. I'm not doing it to make money. I'm doing it so that you go to the website and check it out, and hopefully you buy something else that I can make money. This is what business strategy is all about. And until next time, I am out.